G'day guys, Lucas here from Williams&Co Cricket. Well, it's a sunny day here in Melbourne, which means that cricket season is not too far away at all. For most it probably starts next week, or it may have already begun. So today I just wanted to do a little video just explaining sort of my business and where I see my business going in the future. And first of all, I want to talk about traditional bat making, and that the traditional bat making method and the art is sort of dying off in Australia. It really is. It's going okay in England because there's a hell of a lot more traditional type of guys there, where they've spent years and years and years working on this. Whereas in Australia, we've only ever really had a few. So for me, I'm trying to keep that tradition alive. Guys like Lachlan Fisher, Julian Millerchamp, they're the ones that most people will remember as being great quality bat makers. But there's no one else really coming up. I mean, we've got Bradbury, which is fantastic over there in I'm pretty sure WA. He's going strong, which is good. But in terms of other people, I mean, it's slowly dying out, and no one else is taking that tradition on. So that's where I come in, and I mean, I've worked a hell of a lot with Lachlan Fisher in learning off him, learning about the trees, learning about clefts and what's good and what's not, and things like that. So I think it's crucial to learn from these guys, because they have the knowledge, and I've been lucky enough to be able to spend a lot of time with some of these guys. So it helps me in terms of my business and where I want to go. So traditional bat making, the art of that is pretty well dying out, basically because it's cheaper just to import a pre-made cricket bat, put a sticker on it and sell it. There's no hands-on feel at all with the cricket bat. They literally, some of them won't even put a sticker on, it will just come with a sticker and away it goes. Whereas for me, that's not what I'm about. For me, I've always wanted to learn the process from literally cutting a tree down to then getting it to a cricket bat, and that's what I've done. I enjoy getting my hands dirty in terms of getting in a paddock, cutting a tree down, splitting it into billets, then sawing it up into a cleft shape, cutting the handle, pressing it, etc. That's what I really enjoy doing, and people don't do that anymore. So customers can, when they come in and talk to me, they can see certain things that I've done. I've got a pile of clefts and I can explain how it gets to that, whereas you don't get that in a shop or online or something like that. So for me, in terms of growing this business, it's important to keep those traditions, and important to make sure that every bat going out here is pure quality, and it's been handmade, totally handmade. So that's what I want to do. Also, another thing that I'll be looking at in the future is planting my own trees, my own plantation. That should be in the near future, so not too far away. Obviously it's going to take maybe 20 years to grow, but that doesn't matter. That's sort of something I plan for in the future. Also, a lot of you guys know that I do import from the UK. I use a very reputable supplier over there, so I know what I'm getting is quality from when it comes from the UK. I also use a lot of local willow. I enjoy using the local willow because I'm supporting farmers in the local area. A lot of my willow, it doesn't come from a plantation, it comes from people that have leased a tree almost years ago, and they plant it on their property, and we wait for it to grow, then we come in, pay them a price, cut the tree down, and then away we go. So there's no plantation. It just comes from various areas around Victoria where local farmers have planted them on their property, etc. So that's what I really enjoy doing, is getting down and dirty and cutting the trees down and getting it from scratch. What a lot of people don't know is the work that actually goes into getting a cricket bat, you know, and getting it from a tree to a bat. Now, it is a long process that people don't often see at all, and they won't even know how it gets there and how it's made. You know, it can take, honestly, for one bat to be made from tree to cleft, or to billet, then to cleft, to then handle it, to press it, to shape it, to finish it. I mean, you're talking hours. It takes hours and hours. You know, people don't see that anymore. All they do is, you know, just see a finished product and, yeah, thank you, I'll take that. But they don't actually appreciate the process that goes into it. So there's a little bit about, you know, what I want to keep alive and keep a tradition going in terms of my knowledge on you know, the tree to the whole making process. That's what I want to be doing, every single process for every single bat, regardless. Whereas guys just don't do that anymore because they don't know how to do it, or they don't, you know, have the contacts that I have to be able to do this. So I'm very fortunate that I do. Another thing is, I just want to thank all my customers so far. Hopefully they've had a really great experience and have learnt a little bit about the bat making process. For me, you know, I like to get very hands-on. I like to show the customers what goes into it. You know, because if they can see the process of how it happens, they will appreciate the bat a hell of a lot more, rather than, you know, just getting a bat off the internet, letting it rock up on your door, not really caring too much about it because you don't know the background of how it's actually got there. So for me, you know, I talk to my customers a hell of a lot about how it's got to every single stage. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about, which is, you know, I sort of joke about to customers, but it's actually turning out to be quite true, is a lot of people will buy two cheaper quality bats, right? So they'll buy one and I think they've got a great deal, you know, they've got it for $300 or something, and it's a player grade quality bat. That will break. Then they'll go and get another one that's $350 player grade quality. That will break. And then they realise that this is no good. So then they start researching and start trying to find someone that's going to produce a quality product. That's where I come in, and this is literally, I ask my customers, how many, you know, of this sort of bat have you bought? And they'll say, oh, I've bought two, I'm sick of it, you know, it's just the quality's just not there anymore. And it's quite funny to to see that, you know, what I used to joke about is actually very true. You know, they could have just purchased one top quality bat from me, and it would have lasted more than what, you know, one of these poor quality bats will. You know, keeping in mind as well that willow is a natural product, right? So it's always going to get damaged, whether it be cracks or splits or things like that. It's always going to happen. It is a piece of timber that is getting hit by a hard ball. Now, that's not really supposed to happen. So you've always got to keep your maintenance up on your bat, in terms of, you know, I always suggest once a year, get it back to me, get it cleaned up, and then you're prolonging the life of your cricket bat. So for me, that's very important. Whereas, you know, a lot of guys will just throw it in their bag at the end of the season, pick it back up. You know, when the other season comes around, they realise there's cracks everywhere and it's no good. You've got to maintain your cricket bat, and I hope, you know, for the guys that come in and see the process, they can appreciate the process of how it happens from a tree to a cricket bat, so they can take care of it a little bit more, rather than just, you know, throw it in your bag and forget about it. I mean, because you are spending a lot of money on a natural product, and you've got to take care of it. You know, it's like a car. You always got to service your car. Well, the cricket bat's very much the same. You know, it's a piece of wood at the end of the day. Now for me, I want to talk to you guys about as well is my decals and how I like to keep them very simple. Now I do this because I want the willow to shine through, not big huge decals that are bright coloured and, you know, cover enormous amounts of the bat. I'm not about that. I just want to keep it very simple so that the actual quality of the willow is what you are seeing. So you have a look at this one. You know, our stickers are very simple, but we've got all this is showing all the willow, not, you know, covering down to here with a huge square sticker that's blocking out, you know, all sorts of nasty, you know, knots and things like that. I'm not about that. So there's a little bit about what my business is based on and, you know, where I'm going in the future. So for all the customers that have bought off me and have came in and have seen the process or have ordered online and, you know, and have received their bat, thank you very much. Without you guys, you know, I can't keep producing what I'm producing, and I can't keep this tradition of bat making alive. So for me, you know, that's very important to me, is keeping this tradition alive, because this method works.